When I hear the word conflict, I think tension. I think, discomfort, whether it's a lot of discomfort or a little, I figure it's not a very comfortable setting, but it's a situation that you need to deal with.
When I hear the word conflict, what it makes me think about is something that occurs in every institution in society. It's something that we cannot avoid, but we can definitely decide how we react to it.
When I think about conflict, I think of an argument between certain individuals, whether it's in a work level or an organization level. It's an argument between perspectives.
And when I actually think of conflict, I immediately kind of think of fighting, because I'm a wrestler. When I get all jittery, I get my adrenaline pumping and I want to go wrestle. So that's kind of what happens when I think of conflict.
When other feelings that arise when I hear the word conflict is stress.
It really hits home with me because my mom might be getting a divorce right now, and her and my stepdad just fight constantly, and it's really hard wishing that they could handle conflict. Like maybe they need to go through this training because it could save marriages.
I remember growing up in a household and my father being a drunk and coming home to my house and being abusive is something that I do not want for my family, or I do not want something that anybody should face, because I don't think violence solves anything.
So that is one thing that I can say that I do have conflict in my personal life is roommate problems.
Roommate conflict is inevitable. Most students don't know how to deal with that roommate conflict that counselors and the counseling centers sometimes have to deal with, that it's just pervasive. They need those skills now.
The exchange training is based on mediation theory, and it's a strategy that incorporates communication skills. So it's a 4-step strategy, and the idea is that an individual meets with each disputant separately and then comes up with a plan for a joint meeting. And the individuals come in with a joint meeting with the person running the exchange, and they work through the issues to come to a resolution.
Living in America is no longer a black and white thing. There's many things you have to take into account, whether it's gender, race, sexuality, religion.
Students come to campus and interact with people that have different values, different ways of looking at the world, and sometimes racism and bias, and students don't know how to deal with that difference.
I'm actually very excited for this training tomorrow. I've never had conflict training ever.
And I want to see how much I grow and how much I learn and how much I'm able to apply.
I would want to be able to resolve the conflicts myself.
I think that it will be a great way for people to be more open-minded.
I'm excited to see if there's, ways that I know that I've learned in the past.
The exchange training team came to us and suggested it, and they framed it in a way that I thought was pretty exciting. They wanted to have an impact on this community. I was excited personally about that potential.
We are able to teach the exchange to college students in a very interactive 1 to 2 day process. And so we teach the art of communication, we teach them communication skills, and then we introduce different scenarios, different role plays, simulated disputes, and they use the communication skills and the strategy of the exchange through this simulated dispute. And so each student actually gets the opportunity to become the person who's running the exchange, who's really helping to resolve the matter with the disputing parties. And so the whole day is really interactive. I mean, the students are moving around. Sometimes they're the disputants themselves in the role play, and sometimes they're actually the person who's managing the conflict.
What are our jobs as faculty and staff on a college campus? But our values on our campus are care, respect, and empathy. I believe that the exchange training really is a skill base for the Civility campaign. The Civility campaign is predicated on a value system that we value care, respect, and empathy. And we want to recognize and support and encourage the behaviors that go along with that. But if you don't know how to do some of those behaviors, if you don't know really how to respect your neighbor when you have a conflict with them, then you're kind of stuck. So the exchange gives the skill base, which is the undergirding of the campaign, which is a value-based campaign.
When I thought of conflict, I definitely thought, my first thought was more towards the physical conflicts. After the training, I definitely have been leaned a little more towards trying to talk it out and avoid that physical conflict as much as possible.
But my biggest conflict was between my parents, and it was ongoing. My parents got a divorce, but now I am able to communicate my opinions in a respectful way, and I'm able to let them know that it is between them.
It felt really good inside to just know that I could help out with that, with the skills that I did learn from the exchange.
And now that I have gone through the training, I feel that I am more patient and can understand where people are coming from.
After the training, when dealing with conflicts, like I said, with classmates, roommates, colleagues, it makes me feel a lot better because knowing that there's a method that I can use to try and solve conflict. I think it was clear in the training that we should definitely not let our own ideologies take over the argument.
So to make this pervasive, have everybody be talking about it, have it, those green shirts that people have been wearing that says, I have made a commitment to civility, makes it so that it's just kind of part of our campus, part of our environment.
We see people wearing their green shirts Tuesdays during U Hour and just having events that allow students who not normally step out of their comfort zone to come out and represent that civility aspect of CSUSM.
I think that the civility campaign is so important to us because it kind of helps us learn to come together more and build that spirit.
It's really a lifelong process. And what's so effective is that they can use these communication skills when issues arise between students on the campus, when there's issues between the professor and the student.
I think with having the skills of students being able to connect with one another in a civil fashion to resolve conflict is really a way that will make our campus very unique and special, and something that I'm very proud of.
To me, civility, if I could express it in 2 words, is respecting others.
Civility to me means improvement.
Civility to me means inclusiveness.
Civility means to me diversity, inclusiveness, and respect.
Civility means to me respect and acceptance.